Rock bottom is where the pretending comes to a halt, the ego dies, and the soul starts to breathe. But it's not the end, it's the beginning of a rebirth. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chanel and this is Nelle State of Mind. In today's conversation, we're going to be talking about how to view rock bottom more as an uplifting of your soul rather than seeing it as a downward spiral. Most times when we reach this point in our lives, we are often in a depressed state, we're sad, we feel hopeless, we feel like there's just no coming back, and we think that everything is just collapsing in front of our eyes. When you think of the word collapse, you think of the word downfall, you think of just like being weak or things just not aligning, and you just feel like a failure ultimately, which is literally quite the opposite of what this period of your life is trying to teach you. When you reach this point, you need to start telling yourself, hey, I'm actually being honest. A lot of people, they try to avoid hitting rock bottom because they often tell themselves that failure isn't an option. This mindset also ties into my last video that I made. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Basically, my last concept was talking about how we're always doing and we're not allowing ourselves to be. When you're in a no failure mindset, you're literally allowing yourself to be stagnant. It's stunting your growth and it's blocking you from your blessings. You're not allowing yourself to reach that height, to reach your full potential. Society sees rock bottom as something that's negative because they only push the wins, they only push the accomplishments. Seeing people be in that state where they're just so raw and vulnerable and just feeling their emotions, it makes them uncomfortable, and people are always going to be uncomfortable with things that they're not used to. What if the climb of rock bottom isn't actually about reaching a higher goal? What if it's about digging deep within? Your main question to yourself needs to be, what is my creator or what is my higher power telling me to let go of at this moment? What needs to die here? And this can be in a lot of ways. You may need to make a mindset shift, a habit shift, to look at the relationships in your life and remove and keep accordingly. You may need to let go of different personas that you're trying to uphold. We need to ask ourselves in these moments, is this telling me that I need to slow down in my life, or do I need to realign some things? If you notice that you're just always running from something, you feel like you're just always reacting when something happens, you're overworking, or you feel like you're rushing to reach a goal that you really want to reach, then maybe you need to slow down. On the other hand, if your values and your principles aren't really being kept up in your life, you're just simply not prioritizing the things that you need to, or you're just really not being intentional with the way that you're moving throughout life, or if you just feel like your energy is just being put in the wrong places, then maybe that's when you need to step back and realign. I also want to touch on how when we're in these depressed states, it becomes very comfortable and we feel sort of safe in a way, which is so odd to say since it's such a negative emotion. The reason that we feel this way, I believe, is because we're finally at a point where there's nowhere to hide, there's nowhere to run, there's nothing else to fight but ourselves. We're literally stripped down and exposed to our rawest and most vulnerable form. When we're evaluating these things, there often poses the question of, how do I learn to put my trust back into life once it's literally stripped me of everything? This is the perfect opportunity to just allow yourself to switch your mindset and think, hey, life is not happening to me, instead it's happening for me. To close this episode, I just want to remind you guys that rock bottom isn't a point where you stop. It's where you learn to listen and to restore and recultivate yourself into something greater. It's not a punishment. It's simply the allowance of a redirection to guide yourself to the right destiny and to self-discovery. We as a society need to learn to not be ashamed of it and rather embrace it. We need to realize that this is a normal thing and it's nothing more than the human experience. And with that being said, this is a wrap of episode 2 of No State of Mind. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know how you feel in the comments. As always, my socials will be in the description below. Make sure you check out my other video. And yeah, thank you for any support that you give me, and stay tuned for the next video next week. Bye, love ya.